Welcome back. So, before I start, little update. I just published a new video. KT Boundary events of the KT Boundary part 2 around the world. Copyright because I included more than a feeling, more than an impact. It was part 1. So this is now 18 and a half minutes and then another 19 and a half minutes. So 38 minutes of something. I mean, probably over 60 references talking about just what is happening at the KT Boundary. And I have been thinking about it. This is probably how I'm going to try to present things in a more rigorous manner. If I do, I don't know what else I would present like this. Like this seemed like a good topic for it. I was thinking about shallograms, honestly, which is what I'm about to talk about. So that's what we're going to talk about. But I don't know how exactly I would do it. I would probably try to organize it into features of the shallogram. Okay. So without further ado, let's check out some new shallograms at Rudraksh Guru. Let's just start right at the top. Okay, that's interesting over here and not over there. I'm just gonna go through this one quick unless there's something interesting. That's interesting. Where is that? That's maybe over here. I guess that's on that little nub and these little holes. Kind of in a like in a connected way. I don't know, maybe like it was the same source moving between points that it got stuck on. But I feel like if that's happening, like there would probably be some degree of evidence of like moving between them. So I'm not sure what to make of that. Maybe a bubbling effect? No, this looks like a beam. There's a full-blown shallogram shape. Okay. I saw some pretty cool ones. This, maybe I can pull up shallograms as we go to kind of relate them to other shallograms. Like I was saying, I kept having my mouse get stuck at the boundary between monitors, so I turned off some snapping thing, which apparently made it so I can't drag from full screen. Okay, pardon that. But that reminded me of, hopefully I can find it real quick. I guess I could have just scrolled over here and not been rude and hidden away the cool stones. It's further. We're coming up on it. Coming up on it now. The one it looks like a shallogram, but etched like more like that. Like this, but the entirety of it. Again, like this, but more, there it is. So it's got like a concretion or some kind of thing that has seemingly like a flow point that it hit, went around, and went this way. Carved through a channel and then widened the channel and maybe flowed this way overall, I guess. I don't know. Something of a current flow, though. But mainly I wanted to pull that up in relationship to that. Like it looks like there's some type of differentiation going on where the material is being separated out, possibly because whatever is in here is like what the current is composed of to a degree, in its like densest state at least. And a lot of times it's just like evacuated because it doesn't get like concreted as a solid dense material like this, but in some instances it does, leaving behind that kind of remnants of it. Just a thought, I don't know. Over here, I notice over here these little lobes. There's a little one there too. Coming off of the like teeth of the shallogram shape, so that reminds me. So like let's find a general example. Lobes. Okay, let's find like this here, but where there's these like, I think in this case going inward off of it though, like fed from them. Over here, these little lobes that extend from it. It's a little small in that image. It just reminds me, hopefully I can find it, of one that distinctly is not a fossil, first of all, because of the shape. It's like, it doesn't really make sense. There it is. So we've got the shallogram like ridges here going around this shape, but then off of the ridges, these three lobes formed from the energy flows, probably related to the shape of the rock, that it was the shape the rock was taking, I guess, and being divided into segments like here, this section, like nodules. Same rock, there it is, down there. Same one, it's doing it again here. And then down here, like a yin-yang shape there, and here, and crop circle-y. It looks kind of like crop circles on it. Okay, so that's maybe going on this one, in that one spot. That looks like there's a divide, a dark divide exactly across. It's visible there, visible there, visible there, visible there, visible there, visible. It just goes across. So there's a dark line that physically connects to this like node of this thing here, node of the shallogram. So like this node, every time that it forms like this, it has a node, unless it like is just that part is gone. Node, we can especially see it down there. It's a little less distinguishable here. This one just looks more rough in general. This one's more like defined. Bunch of them like that. I don't need to go through them. But node, and then the divide. So it's certainly whatever is flowing here is pulling materials physically out of this stone and creating like a mound, like a volcano eruption, pretty much. It's like a volcano in here that then erupts out through this channel that maybe hit like the actual stone itself, like it was maybe more like this. Like it used to be connected more across, and then it just blew off a chunk, and it's like smoothed the faces while it was forming did not look like it just broke a piece off. I don't know. Okay, that's checkouts. This one I thought was pretty interesting looking. Here's another one with a node. First of all, I guess right off the bat we can see that node right there. And then we also, now that I see it, we can see that stream coming across here and then hitting a wall. And maybe going into the shallogram stone, but just not removing the material, I guess. Not being as strong. It also didn't create the like spiral rings or the ring structure, not spiral, but ring structure that was in the other one. This one looks more just rough and not as precisely formed like the currents weren't as intense. I guess that's it. That's interesting right here, going around it up that way and then down here around this way. It's close here, but it looks like it's not. If anything, this seems to stop and maybe is related to here. It's almost like a subtle energy. It starts maybe up here. Here, wraps around and around. Here, breaks over and goes this way. Maybe there's some kind of like short circuit between the wraps. Or something, I don't know. But like that's common in these stones for there to be subtle features that are like, where's the fossil that would have induced this? If it, like this is the fossil, this like is there an internal shallogram here? I don't think that's what would be said. Also, this is just really interesting. It does layers, and then it also has some kind of like divide thing here, which tends to happen. A smooth flat side. Really indented and engraved over here. Like the current was like going around the edge and then digging into the surface and then under some sort of like pivot point that it just went under here and then out the other side where it just sprayed over here and above something. But like because the pressures of the overall like flows of this current, like it's not just a current flowing on the surface, it's also a like sea of current of surrounding it, pushing in on that current, making that current flow on the surface and into the surface, so that it basically behaves like a river or like a sea. I don't know. Maybe. For the time that the pressure is like holding it like that. Okay, let's check out this one. That's interesting right there. It's definitely, it does this a lot where it's not like continuous, it has, and then it's not necessarily like regularly shaped. Like over here, it's kind of just like almost random. It's not like a seashell seemingly should produce, where it like eddies back like over here. Like this looks to me like a bunch of eddies in a literally a river flowing, like a river flowing that breaks across and comes through here, breaks across itself, across itself, across itself, out here and like swirls into this little region, I guess, and continues this way. And then for some reason it just shoots energy off here and here. Continues. And then over here, this other one that's just kinda, and then this, like, what is going on? If we just say it's caused by, like, ancient creatures, then there's no, like, rhyme or reason. It's just happenstance. Like, they're literally creating geometric structures with such consistency in instances where it's not just like the Shalagram shell that's said to have created the things going on the structure of the stones, that it doesn't, like, at some point it doesn't make sense as fossils. That's really interesting. Little galaxy with a little galaxy with a shell of dark matter, maybe. Like, here's the disk of the galaxy and here's the dark matter. The ammonite is the galaxy, and then the matrix is the dark matter. It looks like a turtle, but without. There's definitely others that look like turtles. Not so much this one. This one's kind of like tending towards it, but not that one. Good example of like, what? It also looks like some kind of melting. Again, like a current breaking off over here. Waves. It's got waves going in here. In here too, it looks like even. Anyway, that's not what I was looking for. Where is the turtle? I thought it could be like boom turtle. There's the shoe. Here's a good example of one that doesn't have any like reason from a fossil standpoint. Okay, turtle. I know it's slow going, finding those turtles. Shoot. There it is. There it is. And boom, it was like the slow phase and then rapid. Okay. Like the doom shape. Traveling through Gujarat. So that's another turtle. This one's a little more smooth. Got an eye, got a nostril. I think like these are literally like locations. Like an eye is a place where maybe subtle, relatively speaking, particles enter into this system and then physically like do so at eye locations, and then nostrils are like more dense particles like air compared to photons. And then the mouth eats, like literally eats other systems like this of subtle systems, like I don't know, just thoughts. And then it can have all sorts of features that are actually like resemble living creatures in a way where it's like that's or what's thought to be literal living creatures, but also actual living creatures like the Birdman, whose eye we can see right here. Shallograms, maybe here. I don't know where I put it. I was looking for the... Let's just pause here. An ammonite inside of a baculite had a hinge point like an elbow. Wait, let's go. I don't want to go too fast. Boom, like right there. And there again. And there again. Like, why would a shell... It doesn't make sense. That's interesting too. Like, it comes in unified, 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 and then it abruptly stops. And then over here, it like changes to a different frequency across here. Across this whole length, maybe. Like, it exchanges energy across this whole barrier. Maybe. Very reminiscent of the mid-Pacific Mountains. Where is it? There it is. Where we have this feature under North America and then the mid-Pacific Mountains. Where they were together, like adjacent. There we go. They were together, but then they physically moved apart. One is over here now, North America, been below North America right there. And the other is out in the Western Pacific. But they began out of phase like this, and then they separated. I don't know if that can happen in shallograms in that way. But maybe there was some kind of... I mean, there certainly is a current flow. I'd have to think about it. Let's pull it up. Let's pull up the magnetic anomalies. Through the portal. So here, there's a current initially coming across from over here, from the mantle puncture hole across this way, under Europe, under North America, creating an arc, which then ends up producing essentially a region over here that then the current builds so much pressure that it just goes around it and starts flowing this way. At which point, when it reaches Florida region, it fans out this way and this way, up to here, across here, there, and then down probably this way. I haven't really precisely pinpointed it, which is here and here. So it has a current coming in this way, that produces this boundary, and then it goes around it. Goes this way and fans out. Or it goes this way, creates like a bond between the two sides, like a current this way, where they come and interact in a way that produces this shape. As well as down here, that I don't know, maybe got like blown away. Whatever's going on down here, because I feel like it actually was like this, and then back down like here. And that this region was more of a wall to like create this side, Let's check out Google Earth real quick. That's how my video ended, so I guess that's how my Google Earth is. What was I doing? That kind of... I mean, it's pretty substantial. Like over here, it's substantial relatively, and over here, it's like at least as large of seamount. So like, I feel like there's some kind of backstop physically here that occurs like this. Underneath here, that was present that I'm just not, like, it's just not there anymore. I don't know what to make of it exactly. Unless it's like over here, like right here. Or no, where would it be? Where would be adjacent to that actually? This is the top of Papua New Guinea goes up to here. The West Papua New Guinea goes to here. South Papua New, or East Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands goes to here. They were like that. So in this region, we would have adjacent this region of the oceanic crust here, which we just can't even see really. I did notice this is interesting. I don't know what to, it's kind of just this stray, like it's right across here. And then it seems like bend off here. I don't know, it's hard to say without the data. I guess I could look if I could find. I did find some for the Philippines. It's hard to see where I'm at sometimes. Here's the Philippines. Like, I can't see this data, but I did manage to find a map for it. Anyway, before I get too distracted, let's just go back to shallograms. So maybe something like that's going on, where they're going out of phase. Maybe it's even multiple currents, one going one way, one going the other. I don't know. That kind of like flow is one, relatively speaking, but maybe not. I don't know. Could it do that? Go across? Yeah, like maybe it goes across here and then physically underneath. Like if someone were to take this stone and like take this segment, not to and like look underneath it, they may find that this material continues like underneath and just flows underneath the crust, pretty much underneath the crust, like a undercurrent. But over here it's like a at the surface current and then undercurrent, which even happens in like volcanoes like Mauna Loa. Has like literally like a dragon flow, and that's on the sun and all sorts of places where there's flows that go like up, down, like into and out of, and like almost flow like a snake or dragon. This has a little node here, it looks like. That's worth noting. Maybe not as node-like as it looks from that angle. Some of these shallograms have nodes, especially one that I wanted to, like, kind of like this, but not on, like, this degree. I guess maybe it's just a subtleness of it. Let me see. Where is that? It's something that looks like this one. And it just has two round, subtle but like clear nodes on it, like this. Here's some more nodes on it, on them. We'll find it. We'll find it some more nodes. But again, let's see if this has any across it. Maybe there's a little dark there. Dark streak. Dark streak. Like, I forgot what I was looking for, so I gotta scroll back a little bit. Oh no, am I not gonna find it? Here's this one. Node. The bird one. It's the bird one. I forgot about that one. Okay, whatever. I'm sure I'll see it at another point. Okay, let's go on to the next one. If I see it as I scroll, at another point, I'm sure I'll be looking through them for something else. Oh yeah, this brings up this one that I want to look for the next 4 minutes for and not edit this whatsoever and just try to fill a space with me casually talking about things that hopefully are interesting and informative. Pretty sharp, and it looks like there's little nodes, like dark nodes in the peaks of these. I don't know if I'm making that up and I can't zoom in any further, I guess. Without taking a picture of it. That looks kind of curiously like one of the shallogram things. Like if it had another one over here, I'd be like, that looks like a shallogram. That's incredible. Whoa, it's like it's like oh, I don't know what to make of that. That's cool. I see. I thought this. What the? Wow. Really looks like ribs. That's real interesting there. Reminds me of the jade disc from China that I was just looking at, all these different jade discs. Wow, I can definitely see lines going up here and abruptly meeting like a resistance of a different current flowing this way or something of that nature that then turns here. But then over here it's going this way. Over here it's going this way. It's essentially wrapping around here. And then it looks like going this way. Basically running into this pocket. Going back this way and out this way. Across. As well as maybe out this way. And across this way. Pushing these boundaries. Creating the, like, the shallogram things. These things. But it's doing it through the layers. Oh my god, these are little layers of it. Like, let's find a good one. The little ones. They're wee little lads. But they speak volumes. There we go. There's a good one. So basically, in this case, it's very much parallel. But in other cases, it's like spiraling, wrapping around because it's some kind of current flow that's running into a boundary of resistance and meeting another current flow. Basically, in that instance, one's going this way, one's going this way, producing a spiral in either the dominant or recessive, I guess maybe the dominant currents, like direction of travel, or maybe the weaker one, like the more subtle particles, maybe. I don't know. Something to do with which one's more energetically influencing the other. When currents collide within a stone having a shape and boundaries that contain the current, when the current enters the space. Whew, that really does have those, like, it really does have the currents that I would expect to see, and it even has like a little generally spiraling in ammonite. Like, if I didn't know this was where it is in the fossil, where it has, like, it's the side of the spiral here, I would think this might have like a top-down view of an ammonite, especially with these current flows. So it, like, and it brings to mind the ammonite of Australia. Maybe I can just go over here. The ammonite of Australia here, where there's just a bunch of like There's probably a little bunch of ammonites overlaying one another that go through here. But maybe I could find it. Where might it be? It could be any of these, not that one. Australia, ammonite. So there's me drawing it in general with that, which you can pause to check out because I'm going to move me back now. And close this. And then there's the one that I drew with a bunch of circles. This one, which is from episode 8 of Underground Science, I believe. The Wheel of Time video, I guess. Bunch of little circles. I don't know why I drew these anymore. Some of them I can see them. I certainly was just like, here's one, here's one, here's one. I think it's drawn over top, so I'm like, is there one here? I drew one here and here. Like, really? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's do some let's do some checking it out. I mean, there's definitely a little here we can kind of see that has that boundary, and then maybe going over there, like another one here stacked on it though. And then another one that has a boundary somewhat around there. This looks like an eye. Like an eye. Like another one there. I never noticed that one. So here, I think I might have just like continued to draw some at some points. Although over here, I see this one, like a portion of it here. Another one here that maybe I drew across here. Did I do that? No, or I guess I drew it all the way, maybe to here. Something of that nature. Because I was looking for ovals, I guess. And then I drew one here. That one I don't know about, but whatever. Point is, it does these kinds of like spotty things. Let me find some more shallograms. One shallogram that would be a really good example right now. It's definitely further than that. It's further than that. Might be a... It doesn't have the etched outness. It looks more like the subtle, but it's got distinct just circles, just like a punched hole that's either forming or like subtly in the material. You guys might already know if you've been watching my videos, kind of can recall whatever. Oh Lord. I figure they're cool enough. At this point, I like don't even. Oh yeah. Okay, I think we are in the vicinity. I might have passed it. No. Pardon me, pardon me. Okay, okay. These are so cool, though. Where the frick? There's just such a good example. I would really like to use that one. Which is why what I was saying, like maybe this is a good like demonstration for myself that it would benefit to make a Shalagram video, because my videos of doing this are pretty like discovery videos. Like they're literally not like prepared, and I'm just winging it. So like whatever happens happens. So like it's certainly not the same as just being like boom 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 boom. I literally wrote a script for this last one. I was like, trying to like record. The problem with editing voice when I don't know what I'm gonna say is I just say a bunch of things until I say it something that I'm like, that was good enough. That's how I do videos, as a heads up. A lot of times, if I don't have something I wrote down and I have like video that I'm editing, a lot of times you can tell like as it's written in the Cosmos, I wrote a script. Ancient Dwarka, The Secrets of Malgurnar. I wrote a script, I think. I think I wrote a script for that whole thing. I believe, or at least, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But then it's pain in the ass. So sometimes the first KT Boundary one, I just winged it. I was like, oh yeah, this is a pain in the ass. And then I wrote a script. It was done in like instantaneously, relatively. Maybe that's how life is. All these people following the script. Just follow the script. Okay, whatever. Here's a good circle. Let's just move on. Circle. It's also got another circle. Essentially, the other one I was looking for just has like a bigger circle and another circle over here and like another circle. So it's way more distinct that it can do these like layering circles that do different things. Like they can be different octaves, or they can be different like notes within an octave, like the ribs here versus like out further to like this region versus out here, depending on how far out the energy flow propagates, like produces larger boundaries. Okay. Okay. Okay, we saw those. I'd hate to skip this one because it looks like it might be pretty interesting. Okay, let's just open those real quick. I guess I can at least do that. Didn't help. That's interesting, this little nub. And then whatever's going on there. It's also got like a layer that goes around the boundary that's real thin here, and then bigger over here, wider. This nub thing, I guess, is part of this boundary that reaches to there. I don't know why. It almost seems like an energy that generally was going over here then, or dripping or into in some like relative fashion. I don't know. Real smooth. Okay. Okay, not much say on that one. Again, with the just abruptness of these. Doop, doop, doop. We see these flowing across to this location, which is pretty good. It's an indicator, and then around the location over here. And then what looks like going up this way over here. Can't tell quite over that side. Lots of little mounds or like hexagons or polygons, I guess. Whatever's going on in this little corner, that's pretty cool. Again, with the like a almost like the same process as the little marks in the stone, but like in a different layer or different materials doing it, creating similar like shapes, I guess, similar bends. Okay. It's so gorgeous. Okay, okay. I don't know if I looked at all those. Thinking I'm gonna cut this soon, so I don't want to take too much time. It's just seeing if anything pops out, just kind of checking them out. Nice cross section. Which is interesting. It's like it was forming and then it splits in half, and then like the currents still flow atop it to like smooth it out. And they seem to flow here around it, and then oops, and then here around it, down this way even maybe. Like as part of it, like really etching there. I don't know, to a way, into a degree where it like becomes part of the ammonite. It runs into a what ends up being a boundary like right generally here. So it pushes this side, where this side kind of, relatively speaking, looks like it's more getting like pushed through. So if it flows with it pretty well, I would say, like, if like, why would these lines flow with it? If it's just a fossil. Yeah, I don't think this stuff is really considered. I think it's looked at, curiously noticed, and like hand waved away. No offense. Like, because there's no competition. Like no one else. No one's like, no, that's not the case. What are you talking about? There ain't no fuss. Like it's just that's what it's so like it's one thing in like physics be like, that's not true, general relativity is not true, like that's pretty common, like that people know of general relativity, and then other people like don't agree with it. Shallograms, they're just so off the radar, at least outside of Hinduism, that, like, if anyone provides a technical, like, based in current science interpretation and, like, extrapolates, like, some kind of, like, what do you mean? And they flow with it, like, way too frequently and all the time, to a point where, like, it's one thing unified that was happening, that was therefore causing the shape, unless it wasn't a creature at all. Kind of, what do you mean? That would be silly. But, like, the explanation doesn't actually hold up to rigor, but because it generally exists. Oh, they're fossils, and because fossilization, that's it. Like, that's what we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna handle these. Like, I'd even say these little gold specks maybe are related to going through it. I don't know. Like, it looks like they're coming out, at least this side over here too. Although I guess it would spiral. Like, it was spiraling, so the gold kind of went on the bottom half more, whatever this material is. Gold, it's not gold. Went on the bottom half more so than the top half. Like a separation occurred. Literally, like, gravitationally. And then, like, maybe even like a mini system off to the side that, like, had a, like, it physically produced a wall that blocked off materials to accumulate, like, opposite to it over here. Like, they, like, maybe came through this way, across here, through it here generally, and just got, like, stuck on this boundary. But then over here, they, like, went through the system more and got, like, spit out the other side. I don't know. Just thinking. Let's move on from this guy. I guess that's fine. If you guys, like, check out my work and move on from it, that's cool. I understand. Obviously, you can't die listening to me. Like, I'm pretty much doing it myself doing this. That's pretty crazy right there. Wow. It's a little node looking thing. That's cool. Wow. It's the way it separates. Okay. I think I generally made it through the ones that were new. Let me just click through what I opened here, and anything that I haven't talked about, I'll real quickly mention. Like, very tip of the point, like the corner here, corner, like, that's not an accident. That's definitely related to where things, like, accumulated preferentially in current flows. So that one, here's another one, example of that going on. And then it has maybe perpendicular from it and parallel to one another type of lines coming off of it in this case, because maybe because of the shape of the stone. Also, some other more rings I didn't notice. Another line going across those that seemingly goes like there. That definitely an interesting stone. I don't know what to make of it completely. Lots of little lines going across it in different angles, but like continuous. Like a single line, like right across there, and then a bunch of lines across here, and then line there, line there. Like, it's very interesting. Okay. Another one where that kind of thing happened. I talked about this one before, but where it kind of like reached a maximum that it could reach at the peak here. Like a swirling, maybe. Like I almost picture like a glass of wine that's swirling where the energies are literally wrapping around here and then, or around this way, I guess, and then swirling up the side of the rock up to here, and then they reach this maximum point where they then just swirl and swirl around the stone. More visible on this side because of whatever circumstances, I guess. Like the direction of some source of energy, I guess. And then like a front and back from that. So there's stuff of that nature going on for sure. Regularly. This one I thought was interesting. I might have talked about this one before. It kind of has one of those nodes, not like way different though. In more of an oval, but then from it has like circuits or currents or whatever channels, almost like a lava, uh, like a solidifying lava layer that has the like hot current channels between them that form like plates, little plates. Anyone interested in plate tectonics probably should be interested in this stone, even if they disagree with Earth expanding. Because they certainly are related. Very sharp bends, straight lines. This looks generally parallel to this. Maybe this generally parallel these two. And these two. Branching off here, branching off this way, like a current does, branching here, seemingly spiraling a bit, and maybe even, I don't know. Let's see what else we got on here. This looks like another current because of the arc. Like generally something going up from this way that creates an arc and like digs in like the Mariana Trench kind of structure, creating some concretion location here, and then the current from this way. I don't know. And from this way maybe. So maybe it's coming in over the generally from this direction. Like over here and over here. It does kind of have segments where like if current were to flow atop it, it maybe would divide where the like if a current flows this way, maybe it generally, if it was over here, it would go to this side, and over here it'd flow like in this way. It even looks like it spirals, kind of wraps around here, around. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're at hour 5. There's the boot one. I've definitely talked about this one before. I just wanted to point it out real quick. The little terminal. Wow, there's a little ammonite in there. These things are incredible. Top of the mountain. On top of Mount Gurnar. This one, totally different, but cool. Huh. I don't know what exactly to make of those ones. It's another one with some just currents. Notably, like there's a little node or like a protrusion in the rock. It's not as smooth there, and this wraps around it. Again, like a protrusion in the rock over here relative to like a square face. Like it's sticking out over here, and then this has like a almost like rings of Saturn or something kind of thing going on, or orbital structures of planets around a like node. A node? Planets around a node? You mean a star? I don't know, man. What do you want from me? Sometimes I say silly things that people are like, what in the hell? I do know what I mean. I just don't know why I didn't say like a star and I said like a node, maybe like a fractal. It's like a trying to cross dimensions, just so freely crossing dimensions that it's just like, what in the fuck, dude? Why would you not say star there? Well, okay. This one I thought interesting. It's like it's some kind of energy propagating this way, maybe, that created a pooling effect. Like under the pressure, it pulled like a lake or an ocean, like a body of water that then literally was fed from other locations, maybe. Certainly it was like whatever currents are flowing and maybe pulling in these locations are flowing through and connecting between like zones by these current flows to connect the zones. Okay, okay. I should end soon. That's cool. Little bird. 3 little birds. Did you buy your no? This one's pretty cool. That looks like it's got the little ribs. The little ribs. How incredible and random. Like, what? it's spiraling out, and it's got that bar across. Here's the node, bar across, that then is related for sure to where this like ammonite is seemingly spiraling from. So it starts as like a terminal almost, like this outer boundary. I don't know what to make of it. That's probably really revealing if I think about it, because of this bar and the fact we've been seeing the bar related to like the circle and then the little tab thing coming out. So it seems like this tab was like generally propagating this way, but it moved over here because of the energy flows, I guess, that are like present when it's making an ammonite shape in the location now. It seems like it's actually doing that. Okay then. Cool. There's another one with some of those. Let's just move on. This just looks pretty much like the other ones. Sorry. Like, dude. I was mostly trying to get to this one. Layers of the circle, we can see kind of... Makes me think of Dragon's Eye Rock or something formation, maybe. Yeah, like that. Makes me think of that. Even though I don't know if it's actually rounded. And so does this make me think of that. The top of it, up here. So maybe that Dragon's Eye thing is much more, like this, like stacked layers, that the layers are kind of eye shaped on like saucer shaped, maybe. They look kind of like little saucers. Disc in this place, but more like saucer up there. Here's one kind of opening, and I guess that's what's happening. It's just opening and opening like that. I don't think that like this is just a part of a shallogram that has like a piece that broke off. I think it literally just bloop, opened like spontaneously to that like degree, and then it stopped. I don't know. This one's pretty cool. I thought this one was interesting. That looked like I saw some kind of potential currents there. Could probably find currents on this one. It's almost like it's mostly flowing around the like equator, maybe, or some portion of the equator, and then like pushed. I don't know. Some segments. I feel like I've talked about this one before. Okay, that's cool, but okay, okay. Let's just call it there. Alright. Thanks, y'all. See you next time. Peace out.